How's everybody doing out there? All right, you're excited. So now we're gonna have our own little episode of Talking Dead, aren't we? So I guess that makes me Chris Hardwick, except I'm a little older, I'm a little fatter, and I'm a little darker. So we're gonna handle this. We're gonna handle this. So first, a little housekeeping. I know I don't have to tell you this, but we're going to talk about the graphic novel. We're going to talk about the upcoming remainder of the season. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff, so you're going to get spoiled if you haven't caught up already. Just don't get mad at us, please. Let's start with series star Andy Lincoln, who plays Rick Grimes on The Walking Dead.
Whoa! Wow. Good to see you.
Next, we have showrunner Scott Gimple. He got almost as much applause as you. Executive producer, director Greg Nicotero. And finally, the master of all the props, John Sanders. Thanks a lot for joining us, guys.
Do you know I'm British? Does it matter? I'm in, guys. Let's go.
Damon Lindelof, co-creator of Lost, talked about some shows having unkillable characters, where if that character is gone, the show is either changed too dramatically or it unravels, which led me to wonder, are there any unkillables in The Walking Dead?
Were you looking at...
This is another really good contract negotiation moment.
Thank you so much. I remember, I thought it had been quite a big deal when the morning after that episode aired, I went to my local coffee shop in Atlanta, and they refused to give me a coffee. They were like that. You killed they were like, you killed Glenn. What are you doing, man? You're not getting your coffee. You're not getting your triple latte or whatever.
I say I just love hearing that in your British accent.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
And then you and 1,500 other people.
No, but I called him up and I said, Steve, I think you need to talk to your reps, dude, because
It could have been the greatest practical joke. Oh, we're not really going to kill you. No, oh, wait, no, sorry, you're dead.
10%.
When they killed Homer in season 15 of The Simpsons, I thought it was nuts.
But actually, Homer dies on every Halloween episode.
Yeah,
so
this is true.
Really think
Several times. I don't think there are unkillable characters. I think what Damon said, and I know Mr. Lindelof, I admire and idolize him.
And I don't think he was talking about The Walking Dead to be
Oh, no, but I think the way that television is now, the way audiences are now, I think it would indelibly change a show to kill certain characters, but shows have to change nowadays. And shows have to evolve. And this is a show that's evolved.
this isn't looking good for me. I'm reading between the lines here.
Well,
that request for that
in
raise, you
season
might want to pull that
37.
one back, is all he's saying.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge now. I think it is for shows to take risks. And our show has continually lost unbelievably talented people who we loved working with. We did it to tell a story. And we shoot ourselves in the foot at least once or twice every year losing great people. And we have to figure out a way to keep the show up to quality, if not making it even better. Where I could just say, no, there are no unkillable characters.
I guess we saw Herschel's head, like in the in the lobby. So what role did that prop sort of play in what we saw up there?
Well, the sword, my favorite toy, besides the gun, Andy. Sorry.
Yeah. Thank you, John.
You know, it's a fantastic piece to have against his throat and know that that's possible to have happened. And then, of course, Greg's team with the ability to replicate a person that is that close on the show and put it as a chopped head in the show is amazing. And then digital effects helps there. And, you know, there's so many elements that go into a shot like that, but just that, the way it's shot, the way it's put together, and the way the actors are able to hold that together for those moments, and how much intensity Andy can give that.
I think taking risks. We talked about that moment, and Scott and I had that exact conversation about, are we sure we're not going down the rabbit hole here? But he takes risks every year, and the writers sit in that room and they craft stories that we're on for, you're right, you said we're on for 6 years. We're not slowing down. I mean, we're still gaining momentum. Wait till we get to the end of the season. The show rockets into the stratosphere.
Negan.
So it's
Deggans.
really, it's the most exciting time.
We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
Calm down over there.
We'll get to it. Damn.
But it's really, it's exciting because we don't have any boundaries, and the passion really drives us, and we're willing to take those risks.
It is amazing how many shots we do that are not CGI. How many times we actually use real weapons, or we use prosthetics that move, or that we blood gags that are actual practical effects. And you know, people are always like, oh, it's CGI, or oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. And no, we're out there mixing these mediums and making these things happen so that the overall look is what you're getting in the show. That's why I think fans love it so much, because there's so many of those effects that are real practical effects.
So for me, it's always about mixing your mediums to keep the audience guessing. And in this day and age with computers, everybody goes, oh, they just did it CGI. But if you can get them for a split second to go, wait a second, then you've got something.
We came into Alexandria and I had to shave my beard. And I loved that beard. and I called you up and I felt completely naked and very tripped out by the whole experience. And I called up Scott and just said, I'm a little bit nervous about this. Those weren't quite my words. It was, I'm terrified. Yeah. There's a missing word there.
Yeah.
And he said, we should be terrified if we're doing something right. And he sort of pulled me up by the socks, and it was a beautiful thing. If we're going to be creative, if we're going to be in season 5, let's scare ourselves, because you guys deserve it. You know what I mean? It's for the fans. You know.
Yeah. All right, well, I want to thank our panelists for joining us. You guys are amazing. So, Andy Lincoln, Scott Gimple, Greg Nicotero, John Sanders. I'm Eric Deggans. Thank you very much for coming out. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for coming.